that old time religion. Give me that old time religion. It's good enough for me. Give me that old time religion. That old time religion. Give me that old time religion. It's good enough for me. It'll make me love everybody. Love everybody, make me love everybody, and that's good enough for me. It will take us all to heaven. It will take us all to heaven. It will take us all to heaven, and that's good enough for me. We will pray for Aphrodite. We will pray for Aphrodite. She wears that see-through nightie, and that's good enough for me. Good morning. Scripture. We're on Josh. We're on page 266. Josh, let's see what Josh has on this, on our chosen people here. We read the tribe of Joseph protests in the territories. We're at the territory of Benjamin. Netanyahu, sort of. The lot of the tribe of Benjamin, according to its families, came up, and the territory allotted to it fell between the tribe of Judah and the tribe of Joseph. On the north, near their boundary, began at the Jordan. The north side near their boundary began at the Jordan. Then the boundary goes up to the shoulder north of Jericho. Broad shoulders. Boundary began at the Jordan. Then the boundary goes up to the shoulder north of Jericho. Then up from the hill country westward, and ends at the wilderness at Beth-aven. There's a lot of Beth prefix 3 or 4 syllable words in this book. Then up through the hill country westward, ends at the wilderness of Beth-aven. Okay, from there the boundary passes along southward in the direction of Luz. Luz? I think it's Luz. To the shoulder of Luz, same as Bethel. Then the boundary goes down to the Adaroth Adar. Adar. There's an extra, there's a 2 D's in the apostrophe, so it's Adaroth Adar. Upon the mountain that lies beneath the south of lower Beth-horon. Beth-horon. Okay, so there's Beth-aven, Beth-horon. Then the boundary goes in another direction, turning on the westward side southward from the mountain that lies to the south. Opposite Beth-horon, it ends at Kirjath Baal. That is Kirjath Jearim, a city belonging to the tribe of Judah. This forms the western side, and the southern side begins at the outskirts of Kirjath Jearim. Kirjath Jearim. The boundary goes from there to Ephron, like Zach the Snack, to the spring of the waters of Nephtoah. Then the boundary goes down to the border of the mountain, then overlooks the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is at the north end of the valley of Rephaim. Then it goes down the valley of Hinnom, south of the shoulder of the Jebusites, and downward to the En Rogel. Then it blends in a northerly, it bends in a northerly direction, going to En Shemesh. I'm going En Shemesh. It sounds weird with the she. And thence goes to Goliloth. Samson and Goliloth. We don't run. Samson's not here yet. He'll show up later. I'm looking forward to Samson getting his hair cut off. Which is the opposite of the ascent of Adumim. Then it goes to the stone of Bohan, the son of Reuben, and passing on the north of the shoulder of Beth-arabah. Goes down to Arabah. Beth-arabah. It goes down to the Arabah. Okay. Then the boundary passes on the north of the shoulder of Beth-hoglin. We're getting so many Beths in here. And the boundary ends at the northern bay of the Salt Sea. At the south end of the Jordan, this is the southern border. Okay, so it ends at the Salt Sea. At the south end is the Jordan. The Jordan forms its boundary on the eastern side. This is the inheritance of the tribe of Benjamin, according to its families, boundary by boundary, roundabout. Now the cities of the tribe of Benjamin, according to their families, were Jericho, Beth Hogla, Emekhaziz, Beth Araba, Zemaraim, Bethel, Avim, Para, Oprah, or this is almost Oprah. There's an H though, so it's like Opera. I think it's pronounced Oprah probably. Maybe this is where Oprah got her name, guys. This is why you read the Bible, because Oprah is in the Bible. Shefar Amani, Shefar Amoni, Ophni. That's a cool name. Somebody should name their kid Ophni. Geba, 12 cities with their villages. Gibeon, Ramah, Be'eroth, Mizpah, Shipra, Shephibra, Maza, Rechem, almost Rechem. I wonder if Eric B is in here. Erpil, Tarawa, Taramasalada, Zela, Ha'elef, Jebus, Jebus, that is Jerusalem, Gibeah, Kiriath Jearim, Kiriath Jearim. Some of these you have to say like 7 to 10 times to even understand how they might pronounce it. 14 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of Benjamin according to its families. Territory of Simeon. Second law came out for Simeon, for the tribe of Simeon, according to its families, and its inheritance was in the midst of the inheritance, the tribe of Judah. And it had for its inheritance Beersheba, Sheba, that's a Keller song, Maladah, Hazur Bala, Ezem, Eltalad, Bethel, not Bethel, Bethel with an U. So many Beths. Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Hazar Sasa, Beth Lebaioth, Shariuin. I want it to be like Ryu throwing a fireball. Sharukin, whatever the fuck he said. Shariuin. 13 cities with their villages, Enrimmon, Ether, and Ashan. 4 cities with their villages, together with all their villages, round about these cities as far as Be'eloth, Be'er, Beer, Ramah of the Negev. This was the inheritance of the tribe of Simeon according to its families. The inheritance of the tribe of Simeon formed part of the territory of Judah because the portion of the tribe of Judah was too large for them. The tribe of Simeon obtained an inheritance in the midst of their inheritance. They got a inheritance while they were getting a inheritance. That's pretty cool. Simeons, shout Simeons. Territory of Zebulun. Third lot came up for the tribe of Zebulun, according to its families. As the territory of its inheritance reached as far as Sarid, then its boundary goes westward and on to Mariel and touches the Dabathsheth, the brook to which east is Jokneam. From Sarid, it goes in the other direction, eastward toward the sunrise to the boundary of Chisloth Tabor. Thence it goes to Dabaroth, then up to Japhia. From there it passes along on the east, towards the sunrise in Gathhefer, and to Ethkazin, going on to the Rimmon beyond towards Neha. Then, on the north boundary, turns about Hannathon, and it ends the valley of Iftael in Kata Nahalal Shimron, Idala, Bethlehem, 12 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of Zebulun according to its families, these cities with their villages. Territory of Issachar. Fourth lot came out for Issachar. For the tribe of Issachar, according to its families, its territory included Jezreel, Cheseloth, Shunem, Hapharaim, Shion, Anaharoth, Rabbath, Keshion, Abez, Remeth, Enganim, and Hadadah, Beth Pizzazz, this is Pizzazz, it's fucking razzle dazzle Beth Pizzazz. The boundary also touches the Tabor, Jeffrey Tabor, who's great in the Larry Sanders Show, Shahuzuma, Beth Shemesh, and its boundaries with the Jordan, 16 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of Issachar, according to its families, the cities with their villages. Territory of Asher. Oh god, these are all just going to be a lot of names, aren't they? I have to read what it says. Sorry, guys. This isn't very interesting. I think it's fun. The fifth lot came out. I finally found the channel that nobody will watch, so now I'm comfortable. The fifth lot came out for the tribe of Asher, according to its families. Its territory included Helkta, Hali, Betin, Ashapah, Alamelech, Amad, Mishal. On its west touches Carmel and Sihor Libnath. Then it turns eastward. It goes towards Beth Dagon and touches the Zebulun in the valley of Ithtael, northwards toward Beth-emek and Na'ilah. Then it continues north to Kabul, Hebron, Rehob, Hammon, Kana, as far as Sidon the Great. Then the boundary turns to Ramah, fortifying the fortified cities of Tyre. Then the boundary turns to Hassa. It ends at the Mahalab, Akzib, Uma, Aphek, and Rehob, 22 cities and their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of Asher, according to its families. These cities and their villages. Territory of Naphtali. Naphtali is my favorite, I feel like. It's just such a good name. It's a beautiful name, Naphtali. The sixth lot came out for the tribe of Naphtali. For the tribe of Naphtali, according to its families, and its boundary ran from Heleph, from the oak in Za'ananimim, and Adaminekeb, and Jabneel, as far as Lachum, and it ended at the Jordan. Then the boundary turns westwards towards Aznoth Tabor and goes there to the Hukok, touching Zebulun at the south and Asher on the west, and Judah on the east of the Jordan. These fortified cities are Ziddim, Zer, Hamath, Rakath, Chinnereth, Adamah, Ramah, Hazor, Kadesh, Adri En Hazor, Uron, Migdalel, Horem, Bethanath, Beth Shemesh, 19 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of Naphtali, according to its families, the cities with their villages. Territory of Dan. Seventh lot came for the tribe of Dan, according to its families. And the territory inheritance included Zorah, Eshtaol, Irshemesh, Sha'alabin, Aijalon, Itla, Elon, Timnah, Elon Musk, dude, Ekron, Eltka, Gibeoth, Baaloth, Jehud, Barak, Gath-Rimmon, Merjikon, Rakon, with its territory over against Joppa Road. When the territory of the Danites was lost to them, the Danites went up and fought against Leshem. After capturing it, putting the sword, they took the possession of it and settled in it, calling Leshem Dan, after the name Dan, their ancestor. This is the inheritance of the tribe of Dan, according to their families, these cities with their villages. Joshua's inheritance. When they had finished distributing several territories of land as inheritances, the people of Israel gave an inheritance among them to Joshua, the son of Nun. By command of the Lord, they gave him the city which he asked. Timnath-Serah in the hill country of Ephraim. He rebuilt the city and settled it on rock and roll. These are the inheritances which Eleazar, the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers of the houses of the tribe, meeting the people of Israel by lot at Shiloh before the Lord in the door of the tent of meeting. So they finished dividing the land. Chapter 20, the city of the refugee. Then Lord said to Joshua, say to the people of Israel, appoint the cities of refuge, of which I spoke to you through Moses, that a manslayer who kills any person without intent or unwittingly may flee there. They shall be for you a refugee from the avenger of blood. He shall then flee to one of these cities and shall stand at the entrance of the gate of the city and explain his case to the elders of that city. Then they shall take him into the city and give him a place where he shall remain with them. If the avenger of blood pursues him, they shall not give up the slayer into his hand because he killed his neighbor unwittingly. He had no enmity against him in times past. He shall remain in the city until he has stood before the congregation for judgment, until the death of him who is high priest. Sorry, coffee makes me gassy, but I like doing this reading in the morning, so just knock it out. At the time, then, the slayer may go. Slayer. It was manslayer, but I think this is the first isolated slayer. Anyway, Slayer rules. Listen to Slayer, guys. Rain in blood. You don't have to listen to me read the Bible, but eventually somebody will. That's the bit. May go again to his own town, his own home, to the town from which he fled. So they set apart Kadesh in Galilee, in the hill country of Naphtali, Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, Kiriath Araba, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah. Beyond the Jordan, east of the Jericho, they appointed Bezer in the wilderness of the tableland from the tribe of Reuben, and Ramoth in Gilead for the tribe of Gad, Golan in Bashan for the tribe of the Manasseh. These were the cities designated for all the peoples of Israel for the stranger sojourning among them, that anyone who killed a person without intent could flee there, so that he may not die by the hand of an avenger of blood, till he stood before the congregation. Cities allotted to the Levites. Sweet. The Levites are getting cities. Before we just had God, which kind of sucked. But now they're going to allot cities. I mean, the Manasseh are half tribe, and they got, even the daughters got land. So I don't know. It's unpredictable, Bible. Keeping me on my toes. Let's see what the Levites are getting. All right. Then the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites came to Eleazar the priest and to Joshua the son of Nun, to the heads of the fathers of the houses of the people of Israel. And they said to them, at Shiloh in the land of Canaan, the Lord commanded us through Moses that we be given cities to dwell in, along with their pasture lands for our cattle. So by command of the Lord, the people of Israel gave to the Levites the following cities and pasture lands out of their inheritance. The lot came out of the families of the Kohathites. Kohathites. So those Levites who were a descendant of Aaron, the priest, received by lot from the tribes of Judah, Simeon, Benjamin, 13 cities. And the rest of the Kohathites received by lot the families of the tribe of Ephraim, from the tribe of Dan, the tribe of the Manasseh, 10 cities. The Gershonites received by lot the families of the tribes of Issachar, from the tribe of Asher, the tribe of Naphtali, from the tribe of the Manasseh in Bashan, 13 cities. The Merarites, according to their families, received the tribe of Reuben, the tribe of Gad, the tribe of Zebulun, 12 cities. These cities and their pasture lands, the people of Israel gave by lot to the Levites, as the Lord had commanded through Moses. Out of the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Simeon, they gave the following cities mentioned by name, which went the descendants of Aaron, one of the families, the Kohathites, who belonged to the Levites, since the lot fell to them first. Okay. They gave them The Kirioth Araba being the father of Anak, that is Hebron in the hill country of Judah, along with the pasture lands round about it. But the fields in this city, its villages, had been given to Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, as his possession, and the descendants of Aaron, the priest which they gave Hebron, city of refuge for the slayer, with its pasture lands, Libnah with its pasture lands, Jatir with its pasture lands, Eshtemoa with its pasture lands, Holon with its pasture lands, Deber with its pasture lands, Ain with its pasture lands, Judah with its pasture lands, Beth Shemesh with its pasture lands, 9 cities out of the 2 tribes. Then, out of the tribe of Benjamin, Gibeon with its pasture lands, Geba with its pasture lands, Anathoth with its pasture lands, Almon with its pasture lands, 4 cities. The cities of the descendants of Aaron, the priests, were in all 13 cities with their pasture lands. And to, as the rest of the Kohathites, bringing to the Kohathite families of the Levites, the cities allotted to them were out of the tribe of Ephraim. To them were given the Shechem, the city of the refuge for the slayer, with its pasture lands in the hill country of Ephraim, Gezer with its pasture lands, Kibzaim with its pasture lands, Beth Horon with its pasture lands, 4 cities, and out of the tribe of Dan, Eltka with its pasture lands, Gibeoth with its pasture lands, Aijalon with its pasture lands, Gothramon with its pasture lands, 4 cities, and out of the tribe of the Menashe, Ta'anak with its pasture lands, Gothramon with its pasture lands, 2 cities. The cities of the families, the Kohathites, were 10 in all with their pasture lands. As to the Gershonites, one of the families of the Levites were given half tribe of Manasseh. Were given out of the half tribe of Manasseh. Golan and Bashan, its 2 pasture lands, city of refuge for the slayer, and Beth Estherah with its pasture lands, 2 cities, and out of the tribe of Issachar, Kishion with its pasture lands, Dabroth with its pasture lands, Jarmuth with its pasture lands, Enganim with its pasture lands, 4 cities. Out of the tribe of Asher, Mishal with its pasture lands, Abda with its pasture lands, Helkath with its pasture lands, and Rahab with its pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Naphtali, Kadesh and Galilee with its pasture lands, the city of refuge for the slayer, Hamath-dor with its pasture lands, Kartan with its pasture lands, the city of several cities, families of Gershonites, were all 13 cities with their pasture lands. And to the Levites, the Merari families, that sounds fucking Italian, were given out of the tribe of Zebulun, Jokneam with its pasture lands, Kertah with its pasture lands, Dimna with its pasture lands, Nahalal with its pasture lands. Out of the tribe of the Reuben, Bezer with its pasture lands, Jahaz with its pasture lands, Kedemoth with its pasture lands, Mephaath with its pasture lands. Out of the tribe of Gad, Gilead with its pasture lands, the city of the refugee, Mahan with its pasture lands, Heshbon with its pasture lands, Jazer with its pasture lands, 4 cities in all. As for the several Merariite families, that is the remainder of the families of the Levites, those allotted to them were in all 12 cities. I'm trying to do it quick because it's mostly just names. The cities of the Levites in the midst of the possession of people, Israel, were in all 48 cities with their pasture lands. The cities each had its pasture lands round about it, so it was with all these cities. Thus the Lord gave to Israel the land which he swore to give their fathers. Having taken possession of it, they settled there, and the Lord gave them rest on every side, just as he had sworn to their father. Not one of their enemies had withstood them, for the Lord had given all enemies into their hands. Not one of all the good promises which the Lord had made to the house of Israel had failed. All came to pass. 22 eastern tribes returned to their territory. Then Joshua summoned the Reubenites, the Gadites, half of the Manasseh, told them, "You have kept Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, and have obeyed my voice in all that I have commanded you. You have not forsaken your brethren many days, down to this day, but have been careful to keep charge of the Lord your God. And now the Lord your God has given rest to your brethren, as he promised them. Therefore, turn and go to your home in the land which your possession lies, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you on the other side of the Jordan. Take good care to observe the commandment and the law which Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you. To love the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, to keep his commandments, and so to cleave to him, to serve him with all your heart and your soul." So Joshua blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their homes. Now, one half of the Manasseh one half of the tribe of Manasseh. There are half tribes, so we're talking half of a half here. We're talking a quarter tribe. Half of the tribe of Manasseh, Moses had given into the possession of Bashan, but to the other half of Joshua had given possession beside their brethren in the land of the west of the Jordan. When Joshua sent them away to their homes and blessed them, he said to them, "Go back to your homes with much wealth, and with many cattle, with silver, gold, bronze, and iron, and with much clothing. Divide the spoil of your enemies with your brethren." So the Reubenites, the Gadites, the half tribe of the Manasseh returned home, parting the people of Israel at Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan, to go to the land of Gilead, their own land, of which they had possessed them by command of the Lord through Moses. Memorial altar at the east of the Jordan. I'm reading faster so that when I vape, I can just not feel bad about it. Also, if you read this out loud, you start to learn how to read it faster. I don't think I get the pronunciations right, but it's okay. Memorial altar east of Jordan. When they came to the region of the Jordan that lies in the land of Canaan, the Reubenites, the Gadites, the half tribe of the Manasseh built an altar by the Jordan, an altar of great size. And the people of Israel heard say, "Behold, the Reubenites and the Gadites, the half tribe of the Manasseh, built an altar at the frontier of the land of Canaan, in the region of the Jordan, on the side that belongs to the people of Israel." When the people of Israel heard of it, the whole assembly of the people of Israel gathered at Shiloh to make war against them. Then the people of Israel sent the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of the Manasseh, the land of Gilead, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest. He ghostwrites all of Billy's stuff. And with him 10 chiefs, one from each of the tribal families of Israel, every one of them head of the family among the clans of Israel. I'm pretty sure Billy actually writes a lot of her stuff. I don't want to be it's a collabo. It's a brosis collabo from what I understand. And they came to the Reubenites, the Gadites, the half tribe of the Manasseh, the land of Gilead. They said to them, "Thus the whole congregation of the Lord, which is treachery, which you have committed against the God of Israel, is turning away from this day from following the Lord. By building yourselves an altar to this day in rebellion against the Lord, we not had enough of the sin at Peor, from which even yet we have not cleansed ourselves, and for which there came upon a plague upon the congregation of the Lord." Yeah, Peor was intense. That you must turn away this day from following the Lord. If you rebel against the Lord today, he will be angry with the whole congregation of Israel tomorrow. It's just saying tomorrow. I wish it was on the morrow. But now, if your land is unclean, pass over the Lord's land where the Lord's tabernacle stands, and take yourselves a possession among us. Only do not rebel against the Lord, or make us rebels by building yourself an altar other than the altar of the Lord our God. Did not Ashan, the son of Zerah, break faith in the matter of devoted things, and wrath fell upon all congregation of Israel. And he did not perish for his iniquity. Ashan didn't perish for his iniquity. Was the Lord busy? Whatever. We got the tabernacle. We built it back in Exodus if you want to learn how to build tabernacles. Then the Reubenites, the Gadites, the half tribe of the Manasseh, said in answer to the heads of the families of Israel, "The mighty one, God, O Lord, the mighty one, God, O Lord," twice. Screamed, so she must be like, "The mighty one, God, O Lord, the mighty one, God, O Lord. He knows, and let Israel know." Oh, that's also yelled. "He knows, and let Israel know. If the rebellion or in breach of faith toward the Lord, spare us not today. For building an altar to turn away from following the Lord, if we did so, to offer burnt offerings or cereal offerings or peace offerings on it, may children might say to our children, what have you done? What have you to do with the Lord? Okay, the God of Israel. So what have you to do with God? From the Lord made the Jordan a boundary between us and you Reubenites and Gadites. You have no portion in the Lord. So your children might make our children cease to worship the Lord. Therefore we said, let us now build an altar, not for burnt offering, nor for sacrifice, but to be a witness between us and you, between generations after us, that we do perform the service of the Lord in his presence with our burnt offerings and sacrifices and peace offerings, lest your children say to our children in time to come, you have no portion of the Lord. And we thought, if this should be said to us, or in our descendants in time, we should say, behold the copy of the altar of the Lord, which our fathers made, not for burnt offerings, not for sacrifice, but to be a witness between us and you. Far be it from us that we should rebel against the Lord and turn away this day from following the Lord by building an altar for burnt offering, cereal offering, or sacrifice, other than the altar of the Lord our God, which stands before his tabernacle. Yeah, the Lord killed people for making wrong burnt offerings, wrong tabernacles, or wrong idols. It wasn't the tabernacle's the good idol, but no cow idols. These people. Then Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the priest and the chiefs, returned from the Reubenites and the Gadites in the land of Gilead to the land of Canaan to the people of Israel and brought back word to them. And the report pleased the people of Israel. The people of Israel blessed God, spoke no more of making war against them to destroy the land where the Reubenites and the Gadites were settled. The Reubenites and the Gadites called the altar for witness, for they said, it is a witness between us. That is the Lord your God. Yeah, so he's saying the same thing over and over again, which is you're not going to sacrifice this specific altar. It's going to be in between. It's going to witness. It's going to be like in between God, in between the. Joshua extorts the people. Exhorts the people? Yeah, it's exhorts, not extort. Exhorts the people. Like exhortation. Look it up. A long time afterward, when the Lord had given rest to Israel from all enemies round about, and Joshua was old and well advanced in years, Joshua summoned all Israel, their elders and heads, their judges and officers, and said to them, I am now old and well advanced in years, and you have seen all that the Lord your God has done, all these nations for your sake, to all these nations. Basically killed all of them except for you. But there's a few stragglers, but yeah. So seeing all that God has chosen you and helped you get through all these battles. Persevere is the word I was looking for. For it is the Lord your God who has fought you. Chutzpah. Lots of chutzpah here. Yiddish is so fun. I want to speak fucking Yiddish. I don't even like Hebrew. I like. Behold, I have allotted you an inheritance for your tribes, those nations that remain, along with the nations that I've already cut off from the Jordan to the great sea in the west. The Lord your God will push them back before you and drive them out of your sight, and shall possess the land. And the Lord your God has promised you. Therefore, be very steadfast to keep and do all that is written in the book of Moses, turning aside from it, neither to the right nor to the left, that you may not be mixed with these nations left among you, and make mention of the names of their gods, or swear by them, or serve them, or bow down by yourselves to them, but to cleave to them as the Lord your God has done to this day. I'm going to vote today, guys. Neither to the right nor the left. Actually, all the way to the left, because the right is insane and racist and evil, and they believe this book. So it would behoove you to understand what's in this book if you want to argue with them. For the Lord has driven out before you great and strong nations, and as for you, no man has been able to withstand you to this day. Facts. One man of you put to flight 1,000, since it is the Lord your God who fights you, as he promised you. Take good heed to yourselves, therefore, to love the Lord your God. For it is turn back. For if you turn back. If I could turn back time, if I could find my way. Cher. Cher on that. Oh my god, it's like old Cher, and she's on like a naval ship in like weird like fishnets. That's a hilarious video. If I could turn back time. He doesn't say turn back time. He says if you could turn back. Okay, if you turn back, join the remnant of these nations left here among you, and make marriages with them, so that you will marry their women and they yours. Ooh, that's interesting. The remnants of these nations, Miriam, know assuredly that the Lord your God will not continue to drive out these nations before you. They shall snare and trap for you, a scourge on all sides, a thorn in your eyes, till you perish off this good land which the Lord your God has given you. And now I am about to go the way of all earth, and you know in your hearts and souls, all of you, that not one thing has failed of all the good things which the Lord your God has promised concerning you. All have come to pass for you. Not one of them has failed. But just as all good things which the Lord your God promised concerning you have been fulfilled for you, the Lord will bring upon you all evil things until you have destroyed you, until he have destroyed you. He have, not he has, he have destroyed you off this good land which the Lord your God has given you, if you transgress the covenant with the Lord your God, which he commanded you, and go and serve other gods and bow down before him. Then the anger of the Lord will be kindled against you, and you shall perish quickly from off the good land which he has given you. The tribes renew the covenant. Then Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem and summoned the elders, the heads, the judges, the officers of Israel. They presented themselves before God. And Joshua said to all the people, Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, your fathers lived beyond the Euphrates. Terah, the father of Abraham and Nahor, they served other gods. Then I took your father Abraham beyond the river and led him through the land of Canaan, made his offspring many. I gave him Isaac. And to Isaac I gave Jacob and Esau. I gave Esau to the hill country of Seir, but Jacob and his children went down to Egypt. And I sent Moses and Aaron, and I plagued Egypt with what I did in the midst of it. And afterwards I brought you out. Then I brought your fathers out of Egypt, and you came, and the Egyptians pursued you with chariots and horsemen to the Red Sea. When they cried to the Lord, he put darkness between you and the Egyptians, and made the sea come upon them and cover them. And your eyes saw what I did to Egypt. You lived in the wilderness a long time, facts. Then I brought you out of the land of Amorites, who live on the other side of the Jordan. They fought with you, and I gave them into your hands. You took possession of their land, and I destroyed them before you. Then Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab, arose and fought against Israel. He sent and invited Balaam, the son of Beor, to curse you. I would not listen to Balaam. He therefore blessed you, so I deliver you out of his hand. You went over the Jordan, came to Jericho, and the men of Jericho fought against you. Also the Amorites. When the moon hits your eye like a big piece of pie. That's Amorites. The Perizzites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Hivites, Jebusites gave them into their hand. Gave them into your hand. Jebusites, Hivites. And I sent the hornet before you, which drove them out before you. The two kings of the Amorites. It was not by sword or by your bow. I gave you a land on which you had not labored, and cities which you had not built, and you dwell therein. You eat fruit of the vineyards and olive yards, which you did not plant. I know olives are trees, but I've never heard of an olive yard. Vineyard is pretty common. Shout olive yards. Extending the olive yard here, guys. Now, therefore, fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and faithfulness. Put away the gods of your fathers beyond the river, and in Egypt serve the Lord. Okay, so put away the gods. If you're serving stuff other than this, the Moses God, cut it out, or you're going to be tortured and die. If you be unwilling to serve the Lord, choose the day whom you will serve, whether the gods your fathers served in the region beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Then the people answered, Far be it from us that we should forsake the Lord to serve other gods. For it is the Lord our God who brought us and our fathers from the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, who did those great signs in our sight, and preserved us in all the way that we went, among all the peoples through whom he passed. And the Lord drove out before us all peoples, the Amorites who lived in the land. Therefore we will also serve the Lord, for he is our God. But Joshua said to the people, You cannot serve the Lord, for he is a holy God. He is a jealous God. He will not forgive your transgressions of your sins. If you forsake the Lord and serve foreign gods, then he will turn and do you harm and consume you after having done you good. The people said to Joshua, Nay, but we serve the Lord. And Joshua said to the people, You are witnesses against yourselves that you have chosen the Lord to serve him. We are witnesses, they said. I don't know if they said it all at once. That's what it seems like. They said we are witnesses, but he's talking to a people. So like they were all just like, he was like, you need to be a witness for the Lord. And then like a group of like 100 Jews were like, we are witnesses in unison. That's how I'm picturing this. He said, then put away the foreign gods which are among you and incline your heart to the Lord, the God of Israel. The people said to Joshua, the Lord your God we will serve, and his voice we will obey. So Joshua made them a covenant with the people that day and made statutes and ordinances for them at Shechem. Joshua wrote these words in the book of the law of God. He took a great stone and set it up under the oak of the sanctuary of the Lord. And Joshua said to all the people, Behold, this stone shall be a witness for us. The stone is a witness too. People are a witness, the stone is a witness, and then the entire altar is like a witness. We're getting into like witnesses. Lord witnesses. We're all just God playing hide and seek, right? Behold, this stone shall be a witness for us, for he has heard the word the Lord has spoke to us. Therefore it shall be a witness against you, lest you deal falsely with your God. So Joshua sent the people away, every man to his inheritance. Death of Joshua and Eleazar. Okay, so Joshua's writing about his own death. He also wrote about his own. I don't know how it works when people talk in third person about themselves in these things. But after these things, Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died being 110 years old, and they buried him in his own inheritance at Timnath-serah, which is in the hill country of Ephraim, north of the mountain of Gaash. And Israel served the Lord all the days of Joshua, all the days of the elders who outlived Joshua, and had known all the work which the Lord did for Israel. The bones of Joseph, which the people of Israel brought up from Egypt, were buried at Shechem in the portion of the ground which Jacob brought from the sons of Hamor to the father of Shechem for 100 pieces of money. It became an inheritance for the descendants of Joseph. I assume it's still a shekel economy. There's a lot of shekels going around, but they just say pieces of money. Usually they specify. Usually it's like take an oxen or take a 50 shekels, but now they're just saying pieces of money. So I wonder if they're different. There's different currencies. Bitcoin. Eleazar, son of Aaron, died. Buried him at Gibeah, the town of Phinehas, and his son, which had been given up to the hill country of Ephraim. And that's all Josh has to say. We're in the book of Judges. This is a new. I like to do an hour. I'm trying to do an hour a day, but this is the first time I've come to the end of a chapter. or at the end of a book, the end of a chapter, you just go to the next chapter. But I don't really want to start like read chapter one of Judges. I just kind of want to start Judges fresh. So this one, I guess, will be shorter than an hour, or I could just do this and just say random stuff for 15 minutes. Oh, I don't know, because the time. It's like, is the time more important or is the actual content more important? I've been going with the time. So like my intuition is to just make up stuff for 15 minutes. But that seems laborious. I don't have very much to say right now. I just woke up and I have work to do. So I think we're gonna cut this off like now. I should cut it off. I should have already cut it off just when I was done reading the book because that was a decent number, but I just have to stall to get to 15 seconds from now. So yeah, Shabbat Shalom. KSV and JC are reading the old team, the place to be. Give me a call. You know my name, pick up the number. You know my name.